on top.
Oh,
Shows
no,
how
that's
much
fine.
I'm aware of things.
It's all right. No, I mean, I think he's drawn well. I mean, that was the one thing. I just thought he'd be a little overbet off of that performance. You win by 13.5. You win like this. Typically, people can't wait to bet you next time out. In a pick 5 situation, am I going to get beat by this horse? Absolutely not. I just ended up having him third. I like the inside 2 horses a little bit more.
I split them with him. I put him second. I don't generally like these horses. All the reasons that you said. Now, he's 5-1 now. He's not going to be 5-1. He scares me. But we'll look at Rivaro at 4th and 1. And I'll let you talk about why you picked 4th and 1, who I also picked on top.
Yeah, the reason I landed there is I thought it's great when they come out of the same race because then you have a real tangible thing you can hold. I just felt like 4th and 1 got a much worse trip, and they look very similar on paper. Give me the horse that was 5 wide all the way around there, losing a ton of ground.
It's not just even that. I mean, I agree with all of that, but also he didn't break that well. And you know, I mean, he's got a break. He has not broken particularly well now in both of his starts, which I think is a bit of a concern for him. But I couldn't agree more. I mean, I don't have anything against Bravaro, but I thought he ran the better race of the 2 horses. I know he's a maiden, but I thought in this field he was the right one.
Did you? I didn't really have a track lean here. Did you have a track lean? Because obviously, if the inside was good,
I thought the track was pretty fair. I didn't think the track. I mean, I didn't think it was a day where the rail was a particular advantage, and I just thought. I mean, this comment chase 3-4 wide. What race was this guy watching? I don't think this horse was much outside of the 2 path at any point, was he?
Yeah, maybe going right into the turn, but then after that, I thought he was
ducked the rail in the stretch. He didn't break that well either. I just think 4th and 1 broke worst. We'll see what happens in the Sleepy Hollow. Race number 2, the Hudson, going 6.5, and there are 2 major players in this race, and we'll start with the Wine Steward, who we both have on top. Mike Maker on a very good run. I mean, they took a shot on the synthetic last time. Maybe Mike was thinking this way will leave him in Turfway or something if he runs well. This was a very good race. I know that the pace held together here, but I just think this is a good horse, and I think he's better shorter, Jonathan.
Yeah, and the one thing about it is that was obviously one of his best performances, best figures, but he's got figures that are still near that and around that. Right. So while this took place on a sloppy racetrack, sometimes that will make me a little bit nervous about whether the racetrack moved him up. But the number wasn't too far off from what he'd done previously.
I think he just appreciated less distance, honestly. I think some of those 2-turn races he ran well, but I want to be shorter. But he's got a serious rival here in Vetriano. We'll take a look at him and Caldo Candy, who is not without a chance in this race, Caldo Candy. Vetriano beat a very good horse in Worthy Change last time, and I don't take him lightly, and he has more speed than the Wine Steward.
If you flip the post positions, there's a world in which I would have picked Vetriano because the price is going to be a little bit higher. It's 2 tactical horses. Vetriano would be outside. But with Vetriano getting dictated to by a horse who I think might be better than him anyways, and the price differential, as I predict it will be, it's going to be a lot closer than it probably should be. I just had to go with the 5, but not getting beat by the 4 by no means.
I split hairs a little bit with these 2. And to be honest with you, if David's right about the line, and he so frequently is, I would prefer Vetriano at 3-1 versus 8-5. Though my problem with it is his Acoustic Avenue. I didn't bring up his replay, but is he really going to be a similar price to Vetriano? I know he's running very well, and he was unlucky last time. He came in at the start. He got totally shut off and dropped back a couple lengths. He was clearly best. But I'm starting to wonder about him because I pointed this out last time. You look at his running lines, right? March 14th, May 10th, June 8th, July 4th, August 30th, October 8th. Always taking time between races. Then brings the rings back 10 days. Now, to be fair, he ran well. Not quite as well. And now he's coming back a week later. And I just wonder if she's pushing the envelope a little bit. Now, she wouldn't run him if he wasn't doing well, but I still wonder that a little bit.
Yeah, he was just one I just don't trust. I'm not going to be shocked if he wins. I just don't trust him. I think off of some big races, he's going to be bet. He always shows up second, first.
He's been unbelievable since Linda claimed him. Unbelievable how good he's gotten.
And
his good races can win this race.
I know for sure. I just think the other 2 horses are better.
Yeah, and I just don't like all this recency. I don't like the 2 races in basically 2 weeks.
And I also don't like taking a horse that I need 2 other horses to not show up. You know what I mean? Like, if Vetriano runs, he'll beat him. If the Wine Steward runs, he'll beat him. Now, for him to win, they both have to not run.
I agree. He's probably got to step up to his very best race and hope maybe they don't run theirs. I don't disagree. We will break after 6, by the way, Eddie. Race number 3 on the turf. I struggled a lot with this race, to be honest with you. And we'll start off by showing Bold Journey running second and 26 Black. And I think one of the questions is, do you trust 26 Black off of this race? Because he really didn't run very well.
No. And that's the thing is when I first looked at the race, looking at the figures, he kind of gave me the most comfort from his consistency. But on the price he was going to be, with these other horses that are not that far off of him,
right,
I couldn't take him at this short price.
I agree. I struggled with him because it feels like you kind of expect him to run a little bit better. He's got the races, like you said. I didn't like his last race, and I don't think that Bold Journey's really a winning type. So why do you think that Dancing Buck is going to be able to win today? Isn't there more speed in this race?
Yeah, it's just he's been consistently one of those horses that's forward. And when I have trouble in turf sprints, when I can't, and they all kind of feel the same, give me the ones that are going to be forward. If I loved someone from off of it, like if I knew they were going to take Sinbei back and make one run, which seems like it's like more of his style now than it used to be.
I love Sinbei. I just wonder if he's past his best.
Right.
If
I knew that is exactly what would happen, I would have a little bit more trust in him. But I don't.
Do you think he can get in front of this horse? We'll take a look at Warolo. Do you think he's faster than Warolo? Doesn't Warolo have to go, especially from an inside position? Now, I don't know if he's quite good enough to win this race, but I'm not sure he's that far out of it. I just wonder if he's a problem for the 4.
No, I don't think Dancing Buck has to necessarily be in front. I just want him to be forward. And to be fair, I hope Warolo does go. And then Dancing Buck can sit off of him, and he has a target at least to kind of carry him to the to the 8th pole, 16th pole, so he doesn't get lost out there on the front. But I don't think he's a problem for him. I don't seem like they're going to go out there and kind of ding-dong to try to make the front. I think they'll just both be forward.
I'm going to take a shot here with Run Curtis Run, who's probably not good enough. But he's been on the edges of being good enough, and I have a feeling with him. The rails are coming down on the outer. Now, I don't think that's necessarily going to make a gold rail because we've been way out for a long time. So the chances are that the rail is really good and the 2 and 3 path aren't, seems unlikely to me. I think all of the paths towards the inside, but he's a rail runner. And I think if you look at Run Curtis Runs, his very best races are when he stays on the fence. He can run outside of horses. He doesn't need to be inside, but I always feel like he's a horse that runs his best races inside. And I wonder if he sort of drops back to last and maybe Dylan just stays on the inside and tries to make an inside run. It's a bit of a stab at a price, but I don't think Sinbei can really run his races. Bold Journey, I don't need him at a short price. You don't need, he's got a chance, but he doesn't really win. You've got him second, but I feel like of course you have second, that you have him a long ways from winning the race. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just
win.
And the other thing too for me is like, obviously my brain sees multi-race wagers first. Like, I'm not getting beat by Bold Journey in a race where there's a couple of speed horses in here and they all look the same. A lot of the problem with this race is they all have, in their last 3 races, they all have races that are basically identical from a figure standpoint, and that makes these types very, very hard.
I agree. I thought this was very hard, so I thought I could make a little case for a horse that's going to be one of the bigger prices, so I put him on top without a great deal of confidence. Race number 4, this is the filly counterpart to the Sleepy Hollow, the Maid of the Mist, going a mile. And let's start with Let Me Count the Ways, the horse you have on top for the Mike Maker barn. And listen, if this horse runs back to the 79 Beyer he ran first time, she's probably a complete and total cinch. She is a Yaupon. I just wonder if the extra quarter might hurt her a little bit.
What's funny is I looked at this horse, and as I was trying to get ready to have how it is, you have an idea in your brain, so you want to prove it. So I wanted to say, when Mike Maker horses win first time out, it's usually a sign they're pretty good because they don't win that often. But his numbers actually aren't that bad. So when I looked it up, it wasn't bad, so it didn't really support that. But I'm still going to stick to the idea that I don't feel like Maker's horses are just cranked to win first time out on the dirt.
I don't think they are. I think they win first time out because they're good.
Yeah. And so
I don't believe that Mike's a guy who's thinking, I want to win. Everybody wants to win, but the rule is that the ones that run well early are usually pretty good. I don't have a knock. I'm just trying to beat this horse. I just wonder about the distance. And looking at this race at Finger Lakes, I think both of these horses are players in here. Mo Bella Dream and Liberty's Advance. And I'm going to go, and we'll take a look at that replay, with Liberty's Advance. I always love Verdant Pastures. This is the horse to me that screams, from a pedigree standpoint, that she wants more distance, right? Constitution, Verdant Passage, Pastures, all of these things. And you look at this horse, she was kind of going nowhere. She ends up making a big run at the end. She took no money first time out. The horse who beat her, was a nice, impressive maiden winner first time out in Saratoga. She beat that horse that got disqualified, that Katie Davis came out in the stretch. I don't know if I can totally trust a sloppy track race, but this horse has a lot of pedigree, and I thought this horse might be really interesting in here.
Yeah, you know what's funny is what's great about this game is there's two ways to look at it. You looked at the no money as a positive. I looked at it as a negative.
No, I don't look at it as a positive. I'm with you.
Okay.
That bothered me a little bit. The horse did no money,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah, that cheeky move for him to enter in a stake. I would like there to be I would have liked for there to be a little bit more buzz behind the idea of him doing that, which is probably one of the reasons why she fell so deep in my list.
I agree, but, you're getting a serious rider change. This horse spent an awful lot of time in the rail on a track where you probably were better off being outside. I also don't think that Mo Bella Dream ran that badly in here. I just think this horse is the better of the two.
If the eight doesn't want the distance, I have zero problem with the 6. I just think the 8.
What about Rena's Revenge? I'm going to show her maiden win because I don't want to beat up on Christopher Elliott, and she wasn't going to win the Frizette with, the best riders in the world riding her. But she got a bit of a silly trip in that race. She was she broke well, she dropped back to last, she made this huge run up the rail before understandably tiring. And I'm not sure that she is an horse that could have a real forward move.
Yeah, I just thought she could improve on, if you go back to, if pretend the Frizette didn't happen, and I know it did, we have to obviously digest that information. But based off of the way she ran first time out, she feels like she's one that would take a step forward. And I'm treating the Yaupons kind of just like Uncle Mo, right? I'm hoping that carries on, and then.
Did you just in any way compare Yaupon and Uncle Mo?
Do you know what I'm saying, though?
You better hope Mike Rapoli's not watching.
No, that's not what I meant.
Not.
That's not what I meant. I'm saying, like, from a pedigree standpoint, if I felt like an Uncle Mo can do it, at least for the time being, I'm assuming that a Yaupon will be able to bring Granddad's stamina along for the ride.
I'm not overly concerned about them getting the flat mile. I just wonder if they'll get better as the distances progress.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in a slightly different direction. We'll see what happens in the Maid of the Mist. Race number 5. We'll take a brief break from running stake races and get a little maiden claimer involved here. What are you doing? You're going to go for start 19 for calling an audible?
Oh, trust me, I didn't want to.
I bet Eddie Barker loves her today. She got race to win this race.
Yeah, when horses
a lot of them
are like 3-4 to 1 often, and they're running second, that's kind of where they're supposed to run, right? They're the second or third choice.
How about 4 to 5 and even money?
Those don't feel great. I mean, it's really hard. Obviously, my eyes went to the horses that are trying maiden claimers for the first time, and they were all just horrible against maiden special weights previously. Just never, ever, ever ran. This just feels like maybe calling an audible, found the right group, but man, it doesn't feel great.
I am not gonna argue. I think of the horses that have form, this is the best horse. I'm going to go for horses that don't have form, and I'll start with the 7 AP Slingshot. Listen, I'm a sucker for Bruce Levine. I think Bruce is one of the best trainers in the game, and this is a significant trainer change to Bruce. And this horse did at least show some life last time, showed some speed in a race against tougher horses, fell apart, but now gets Bruce a cutback in distance and a drop. I can't resist this horse. This horse, to me, I'm going to lose a bunch of money on this horse. I have made a lot of money on Bruce taking over horses. There was a horse years ago. I was actually talking about it with Bruce named. I'll remember the horse's name. Other people will remember it. I talked to Bruce about it years ago. That he won with off a trainer change coming from Churchill Downs. I think this horse is super interesting here.
Yeah, look.
Who am I supposed to be afraid of?
Well, I think it's important to mention. I'm going to ask and then make a statement. Why do we think the 9 Endless Kits is 5 to 2 morning line? New face, Manny Franco.
Maybe it's the 0 for 12 with one hitting the board for Kerry Bryan with first-time stars and maiden claimers and dirt sprints. 1 for 12, 0 for 12 with one hitting the board.
I didn't get that skinny. I just did maiden claimers, first-time starters, 0 for 28.
Yeah,
so that's including
I guess David's feeling is it's got Manny Franco is a very live trainer in a field of horse you don't want to bet on, and David's usually right. this horse wins, I'm going to lose. I'm never going to bet a horse like this. The assumption being this horse doesn't have to be much to win. I find more horses interesting than this horse.
I also think it's interesting when you bring a horse like this in who hasn't worked here for a tag, so it's very hard for anyone to know if the horse can run.
We've got a Nick Tamaro tweet.
Oh.
Echo Town progeny, 6 for 14, first out at 3-year-olds and up. Do you think that's why the horse is going to be 5 for 5 and 2, Nick? Morning line maker at Keeneland? Worry about your morning lines at Keeneland. Leave me alone. Nick takes a lot of abuse for making a pretty solid morning line in an impossible place. My favorite thing that people do with abuse morning line makers is when like a 2-to-1 shot is scratched and they say that their line's way off. Like, hello.
Yeah, it's just like it's the dumbest thing to get worked up about.
Yeah, I'm going to let this horse beat me. I also want to use Jalamar a little bit. This horse is a half to Vetriano and Grantham. I mean, this is really a dirt pedigree. I know this horse was ridiculous and took no money, did break slow in there, probably completely stinks. But against Dillon in this field, I want to throw this horse in too. I'm going in the fuzzy train in race 5. Whether you like it or not.
I just wish the horse would have taken a little bit of money, and it's also
the horse may just be a total no ability.
And 0 for 10 trainer to the trainer change to an 0 for 10. It just look. I'm not going to talk anyone off any horse in here. This race is just impossible.
I agree.
Anyone could win.
I agree. It's a tough race. I mean, you're taking an 0 for 18 horse, but I don't disagree with you. The horses with form, I agree with you. I think you took the right horse at least. We'll see what happens. Race number 6 is a funny situation in race 6. And I almost didn't put this horse on top, though I think he's going to be tough. We'll take a look at George Briggs winning the off-the-turf race last time. Now, I think we both felt he was probably going to win this race on the turf. I, of course, bet Butta, who came back and ran a better race the next time in winning. The fact that this horse actually won on the dirt, sloppy track or not, is kind of amazing, to be honest. And I think this is a horse that doesn't look that good on the turf, that has a big move forward in her.
No, I think so too. I think it shows the kind of talent the horse has. I actually thought that the Colonel Liam was pretty good. Mibago ended up being a pretty good horse. So that race feels a little bit better than it looks on paper. And the other thing too is don't get me wrong, and I try not to go in order of post position when I handicap. But when I got to George Briggs first or second horse, I was like, okay, who can I beat this horse with? And then I went through the race and I said, oh, I don't feel great about any of these other horses.
Well, it's a new group, and there's no, Spirit of St. Louis in here and those kind of horses. I think the horse you have second, I almost put him on top, Be of Courage. He's been running extremely well all year, and he's a horse that's always run well in the late in the season at Aqueduct as well. I think he's very dangerous.
And to a point you made earlier, I like the fact that Be of Courage ran well inside last time, and he'll probably be there again this time. At least we know he has, no pun intended, the courage to stay down there.
I also think that he's horses better. I'm going to ignore that happened, but you'll be on the air for this race, so feel free to use that line.
I won't do it again.
He also feels like he's better going shorter, and he ran really well last time going long. This horse has run a lot of good races here. Listen, I think the 3 is not impossible here. I just worry as we take a look at the horse, the morning line favorite, sounds like a Plan's last race, that he's going to be outrun early by that horse, and I feel like the pace may catch up to him. I'm going to tell you something. Sounds like a Plan is going to beat me. He beat me last time. I don't know how he got loose in the slow pace last time. There were other faster horses. Nobody decided to go. He beat Cable Ready, who I needed for a little bit of a score in here. And I'm sorry, if he's getting everything going his own way and he's barely holding off Cable Ready, he's going to beat me in this race, especially as one of the favorites.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a nice style for this draw. I will say that. Ricardo obviously is going to ride him with some confidence in there. Just at a short price, it just felt like he was going to. I just don't see him getting loose in here. I think it's all coming together. Could be a little bit of a pressure.
He's got to go. He's got to go at least and make him run. I mean, he's going to abdicate the lead. I mean, what's the sense of doing that?
Right.
I think that horses like Slap in the Face and Outsource are kind of similar. I'd rather take Outsource at a better price. I like Outsource cutting back in distance. I feel like it's a great claim by Tom, and he's kind of a sneaky horse in here at a price to get at least a little bit of a piece.
Yeah, the double 11 furlong race to me felt like Tom liked something about that longer distance, so the distance was a little bit of a concern for me, but he'll be finishing.
Yeah, I think he's a little interesting if the race comes apart. But like you, I like the 1 and 2. We will take a break and come back. The late pick 5.
The Cup is calling at the Breeders' Cup with Naira Bets. Download the Naira Bets app or sign up at nairabets.com to get a $25 free bet and $200 deposit match bonus today. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, and boost your bankroll with lucrative promotions. Play the Breeders' Cup World Championship with Naira Bets. New players sign up now to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit match only with Naira Bets.
We are back, Jonathan and Andy, and letting people know that Ruben Silvera is riding Bernie Takes Charge. For those who don't know, Romero Mirage and injured at Finger Lakes on Monday. I was texting with him yesterday. His spirits are good, but he's going to be out 2 to 3 months. He got beaten up. I think he broke his elbow. Yeah, it's kind of lousy. He's down in Florida and, convalescing. Rajiv better be taking care of him.
Yeah, I actually had Rajiv on the podcast the other day. It was funny
Did
to
you?
catch up with
It's
him.
the best. Yeah, we've
funny.
been texting. We've been
Funny
texting
guy.
a bit lately. Yeah, so to know Raj is to love Raj. We'll start out with that horse in this race. I picked against you. You like this horse less than I do. She's pretty good. Her last race notwithstanding, where she had no chance. Why are you against her?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to hold against her running poorly in the personal incident. She's 50 to 1. She was supposed to run that bad.
She should have run the turf race the day before, but
I don't know. I mean, her critical eye, she had everything her way, and I think she's going to have to run a little bit better than that. There's been no horses to win out of that race. I think we see that a lot in Saratoga with the 9 furlongs. I think we see some horses that like the 9 and a lot of horses behind them that don't, and sometimes it makes the ones that just liked it more than the others look a little bit better. I just don't trust her what's going to be a short price.
So as we look at the Fleet Indian, do you think that that the winner, Vehemente, is going to really take her on in this race?
Put her on top is like 4 of her best races, whether
They're
it be
not good enough.
winning or figure-wise, aren't fast enough. That was the only thing that prevented me from putting her.
I don't disagree with that, and that's why I struggled. It almost went 2-3. I just figured I'm close enough at a better price, I'd take her. Do you think Midnight Concerto's a little? If Midnight Concerto's 6 to 1 and Valdelina's 5 to 1, I would never go near Midnight Concerto. And David's usually right, so I'm not going to argue with that because they're going to better off turf figures. I thought it was interesting they decided to go in here. I mean, she is kind of a weird horse. Has not been on the dirt for a long, long time. Jimmy Jerkins has got her now in New York, and she's just improved.
I think she's a really interesting horse if you're a superfecta player or a trifecta player to play in 3rd and 4th.
Just don't think she
because
can
she's gonna be able to get the distance while some of them might
Right.
not, and she's gonna be she might not love the surface, but she's not gonna be
She'll be out the back door,
yes,
but
she will be as tired as the rest of them when they turn for home with some of the stamina-based races she's running.
Right. I think if it becomes a little bit of a battle of attrition, the 2 and 5 hurt each other a bit, and I'm right, the K-Cup doesn't want the distance, maybe she and Valtelina are the ones that are running at the end. We'll see what happens in the... What's this one? This is the... What do we call this one? The Empire Distaff. We'll get to the Empire Classic shortly. The Iroquois comes up next. And we'll start with My Main Squeeze, and we'll show her winning a paceless race, easily beating Sterling Silver. I think it's a different situation today. You've got horses with speed like Stone Smuggler, even Cali Magic. And I just wonder if it's a different pace scenario, and for that reason, I picked her second. I also am a little bit worried about her Ballerina, and I don't think she's working great at Churchill.
Yeah, I just think she's better than these other horses. That would be my biggest concern is the real My Main Squeeze going to show up? It's one of those situations where if the My Main Squeeze shows up, she's going to win.
You
I
so
just don't know if
confident she's going to beat the 8? I mean, well, look at Sterling Silver. This is, I don't know, which race am I showing? The Bay Ridge when she lost to Stonewell Star, because Stonewell Star is in here, her last race last December. I think Sterling Silver's better shorter. I was very disappointed, though, in Sterling Silver's last race, but maybe that pace just held together, even though I thought the track was fair. I've always liked her, but maybe she's starting to tail off, but I can't give up on her now as the second choice.
I understand, and if I had a good New York Brit, I would probably do the same thing. I just don't like the 6.5, 8.5 turf, 7 dirt, 9 dirt, 8 dirt.
She's checking all the boxes.
I don't, the inconsistency of that, to me, makes it hard to trust that who's going to show up and what performance you're going to
I think that's fair. I'm just hoping there's a little more pace and she gets it done. And I think that there's a chance there's a bigger difference between their odds. Because, listen, maybe there should be. I'm not even convinced that Sunday Girl has no chance in this race. She had some decent races. There's some talk that she was down the inside at Delaware. You didn't want to be last time. So I think that she's a little bit interesting. The problem is even her best races are a little bit slow.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think if my main squeeze shows up, they're going to be trouble. We both have
Cupid's Heart.
Cupid's Heart third. And I'm almost positive that this is the horse that was having the problems.
She can't get out of the gate.
Problems,
She
right?
hasn't been able to get out of the gate since her first start. She's gotten left basically almost every time she's run. She's finally put some races back to back. She's finally having more of a full season. The problem is she's gotten older. She's 6 years old, and she's not the horse she once was. She's got some races, though, that are pretty good.
She has some sensational races. She's going to have to kind of work through that issue, obviously, and that would be the biggest issue.
Yeah, and the rail post for a horse with gait issues, not necessarily the best thing. We'll move forward to the Ticonderoga on the turf for the fillies, and we'll look at Awesome Check and Moonage Daydream and Spinning Colors in the Yaddo, where they put in a good show. I decided to try to wire the field. I was between Spinning Colors and Awesome Check in here. I thought actually ran okay last time out. Spinning Colors couldn't get the 1.125 miles. I guess the deciding factor for me was with the rails going to 0, I thought maybe her speed would give her an even slightly bigger edge, and I preferred her in this race, but it's not an easy race.
No, it's funny. We're going opposite here, and that's who I would pick if I thought a horse could wire. I'm hoping that the pace heats up a little bit and sets up for Brock Nardini.
That's the problem I have. You've got a horse that's probably not good enough that needs pace. Why is she going to run better today?
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's going to be some pace. I actually don't think that I don't hate all of her races. Her 2-rack race where she lost the Awesome Check where she was 5th, she had trouble in there. The race before that at Saratoga, on the inner, I thought she ran well enough when she won. Yeah, she probably does need a little bit of help, but I think that if you need a little bit of help, as long as the price is okay, I'm okay hoping for that situation. Hoping that the pace falls apart.
She's got to be better than 6-1 here, doesn't she? Boy, I thought she would.
Yeah, Awesome Check and Spinning Colors.
I thought the 1, 4, and 5 would just take like all the money here. David's usually right. He's got the same price as Gallant Greta. Gallant Greta's just not good enough to beat these. And frankly, I prefer the 2. Here's the race where Can't Fool Me beat Gallant Greta. Can't Fool Me got a good ride here. The 3rd place finisher probably should have won. Tour Jeté. I actually think she's a little interesting, Can't Fool Me, off the claim for Fernando to get a piece in this race. She's got some decent races this race.
For sure, and she'll be a nice price too. If she's going to need some help too, I think like Brock Nardini.
But at least she has an inside post.
Yes, she'll be able to save some ground on the first turn.
She was where I would go if I was going to go outside the big 3, which obviously I'm not, but you are.
But the one thing about the big 3 is they're all going to be on top of each other.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is that race we showed, every single one of those horses rode the rail almost the entire race. And the rail was a good place to be. So I think they all really benefited from incredibly good trips. So I'm not sure any of them are quite as good as they look in that race. And if things don't work out today, we'll see what happens. The 1 is now 3-5 in the first race. Does not look like a 3-5 shot to me. We got some time to go, though. Oh, we got time. The Empire Classic. I'm going to start the Empire Classic with Bank Frenzy, because I believe that he's the horse to beat. I think he is a more likely winner of this race than Iron Dome. I think he was a bit compromised last time by being down on the inside in that race, and the pace completely held together. This horse has been a machine, and he just keeps showing up and showing up and showing up. And I'm going to try to beat him, but I think he is the horse to beat personally.
No, I mean, look, it's definitely Iron Dome and Bank Frenzy were the ones that I felt like leaning on one of the two of them.
But you went against them.
Yeah, just because I think that they're going to be bet like it's a 2-horse race, and it probably is.
I don't know. I don't agree. We both picked different horses. I don't agree. We're going to look at Iron Dome winning the Albany. I'm going to bet against Iron Dome. I think that this is listen, the horse who beat him last time is okay. He's the horse that was a distant second, the Travers. I don't know. I think he's finally meeting some pretty good, accomplished distance older horses, and I think he's going to be overbet because of his big wins and the second in the stake, and I think the competition just got significantly tougher for him. I'm against him today.
It's 3 wins. He was odds on.
Yeah, and
So-
this is a much tougher
Yeah,
group.
Yeah. So there's just not a lot of trust there. I mean, what happens when he's not odds on? Every time he's not odds on, well, there's a couple times he's lost when he was odds on, but when he's not odds on, he gets beat. I just don't. He could win, but I just don't trust him.
Yeah, I'm going to play against him. How is Dr. Kraft going to win here? I needed him to win last time.
Yeah, I'm hoping Dr. Kraft is aggressively ridden, knowing that the most ideal situation for him is to get loose. And while there is other horses in here with speed, I do think that if he wants the front, he can get the front.
Okay.
And
Over Doc Sullivan?
if he wants the front, over Doc Sullivan. If he wants the front, I mean, Doc is stretching out, but he's not necessarily like blazing fast.
No, he's not a big speed horse. We'll take a look at him winning the John Morrissey, which we've already looked at with the Wine Steward. I think 1 1/8 is a bit of a stretch for him. I do, and that concerns me a bit. I'm hoping Joel is aggressive with him today, and I think I don't know why Andy dramatically lowered the fig of the last race, the Patriots one. I think he's wrong. I think that figure is at least a 90 for this horse. The time before that, I actually thought he ran pretty well in the Book'em another race where they lowered the fig. I have some trouble with that as well, and I think he's capable of running fast figures. When he lost to Pandagate in the Albany, he had the wrong trip, and Pandagate was pretty good then. He was a 3-year-old. I'm hoping he stepped forward.
So you want him to go?
I want Joel to go.
Okay.
I want him to just take advantage of the rail and send.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I think especially in this race, we want to do take back and then try to
No.
pass horses like Bank Frenzy and Iron Dome. I don't think that makes
No,
sense.
I think if he puts himself on equal footing with Bank Frenzy, he's never going to beat him down the stretch. So they're the two I'm going to use. If Iron Dome wins, I'm going to lose. I'm going to live with myself losing. It's not easy to live with myself as it is. Then we come on what I thought was one of the most difficult races on the entire card in the last race. And we're going to take a look at some of the New York Scrappy race because, let's face it, he runs his last race. He's kind of supposed to win in here. This horse had real trouble early. He's the number 6 horse. Watch him, comes out of the gate. He doesn't really break that well, and he's going to get sort of carried out significantly or carry himself out into the first turn, take himself out of the race. He's wide again in the second turn. I thought he ran huge in this race against better horses than these, but he's coming back a year later. Mark Cassidy does not have great numbers off the layoff. You see where he is now. Jose kept him out in the middle of the racetrack. He's a tricky horse to ride, and he's the horse to beat, but I just don't trust him.
He ruined my early pick 5 on closing day at Saratoga. He was in for 50 in race 3. I was on an ice cold single him in the early pick 5, but he scratched. So,
Didn't we make a little money in that race fooling around with the winner, though?
did we?
Yeah, the horse came up the rail at the end.
I don't remember now.
I don't know. I think we talked about was it Dave Donk that won? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
But anyway, he was in for 50, which I think is a little bit interesting. I don't think sometimes you try to get cute and then you start hearing, they're going to claim him, and then maybe you back off of it. But to even flirt with the idea of running the horse for 50 off of that break, to me, is a little bit of a negative, which is why I had him second. Because if he runs the race we just saw, he's going to win this race.
And he's kind of rushing to get into this race because he's off a longer than a year layoff if he doesn't run in this race. So he can win. I got to tell you, before the wind, I don't know. Shouldn't this horse have won last time? I thought this horse had an absolute dream trip.
Yeah, I mean, the pace wasn't all that quick. The horse was trying to close into.
But the winner outclosed him.
Yeah, first race, not since July. I think there's another step forward from before the win. And I think the price will be fair as well. I don't think people are cutting in line to, bet the connections. And that's no offense. I'm just saying, it's
No,
not
I agree. I don't think the horse is taking, whereas
yeah.
asking for a friend is short because it's Baker and his horse has been winning a lot. I thought asking for a friend and everything his own way and just stopped in the stretch last time. It's a little bit shorter, but I don't trust this horse. I think it could win. I'm just not. I'm going to get a little goofy here. I think you want to take a look at first-time turfers because I'm just sick of the ones we've seen, to be honest. I know the negative on Dormello is, why is Bill Mott using Jose Gomez? And Junior probably said after the last race, I don't want to ride this horse back. You know what? This horse is a giant turf pedigree. It's 1/2 to 3 good turf horses, dirt horses as well. Maybe this horse can't run at all, but this horse is going to be a huge price and has a huge pedigree for a race like this. And then there's the 10. I mean, Name Changer is unknown. He's 0 for 2 in the turf so far, but he's an Uncle Mo. And there is one horse that ran from the dam that ran a 70s in the Byers in the turf and was kind of okay. Why can't this horse improve?
Yeah, certainly. I of your two,
He's the more likely because he ran okay in the dirt.
no, but the Dormello thing though, taking all that money first time out, you saw it with that horse. I'm gonna forget the horse's name that Mott had that took all that money first time out on the dirt on Belmont Day, I believe, and the last on Belmont Day, and then came back and won on the grass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But do you
No,
take
he had
money,
broken his maiden on Belmont weekend. He came back and lost his next start in the last race when Gargan won with that
Yes.
horse, and then he came back and he held up. There was an inquiry against him, and he stayed up.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He came back and he won the Saranac.
Exactly.
Good horse, yeah.
But I think when you take money first time out and it doesn't go well, and then you make a drastic change, maybe that wakes up whatever talent led to you taking money first time out.
It definitely didn't go well.
No, it didn't go well.
The problem is, I mean, he couldn't even keep up. But he's not dropping. Well, he's got too much pedigree to drop in for a tag right away before trying with the turf. I'm going to take shots with horses because I feel like the 9's the horse to beat, but I didn't want to put him on top in here.
I get it.
All right, thanks. Good to see you. Jonathan will be on early on today's show. It means he has to head upstairs in a few minutes. You need to head over to Naira Bets and use the promo code CUP25. You got a week until the Breeders' Cup. Take advantage of this bonus. You get a $200 sign-up bonus, but also a free $25 bet for the Breeders' Cup. For or against Sovereignty?
4.
Okay. What price do you think he'll be?
6 to 5.
That's just what I was thinking. That's exactly the number that was in
They won't
my
let
head.
him go. They won't let him go.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be that short. I'm looking for it. You know, I don't want to hear any of this is the greatest classic ever because it's not.
I think it's one of the best.
There have been some great classics.
Well, I think that from top to bottom, the accomplishments of these horses.
I agree. You've got everybody in there for the last 2 years winning all the races. I think somebody should take a good look at that field that Tisnow ran in on the second Breeders' Cup. That was a tremendous, tremendous field. We've had some very good Breeders' Cup classics. We've had some less good Breeders' Cup classics, but this one's a good one.
Who's the second choice, Fierceness or Sierra Leone?
I think it should be Sierra Leone. I don't know. Fierceness has a very, very loyal contingency that bets him, and he usually takes more money. It'll be close between them. I think Forever Young will probably be the fourth choice. I don't think he's impossible.
No.
Yeah, it's hard to get a gauge on him.
Don't ever know how fast those races are.
It's just hard to know.
But you know how good he is because of the races he's run in the Derby and in the Classic. So you just is he going to run to his top or not?
Yeah, I think his Classic last year was underrated. He was too close to the pace in that race.
Yeah.
I thought
If
he
you like
ran
what Fierceness did, you
very
gotta like
well.
what he
I
did.
agree. I think he's, everybody talks about Fierceness, and nobody seems to want to talk about him. And I think he was a little more out of his element than Fierceness was, who's good being forward. We have what do we have? Eddie. Keep them rolling. 5,000 hit and split on the late pick 5 here. We have a 10 times points at Gulfstream. If you're playing Gulfstream, opt in for that. Good luck with that. We've got a $50 bonus. You're playing Keeneland, closing day at Keeneland. 75 or more here and at Keeneland. You get a $15 bonus. We have a cross-country pick 5. Speaking of Keeneland, 3 at Keeneland, 2 races here. Starts a little bit before 4 o'clock. We have a show from 12 to 5:30 covering all the action here on Empire Showcase Day. And last but not least, 7:30 until 10:58. So you're good if you got somewhere to be at 10:59 for the older horses in the Breeders' Crown up at, is it Mohawk at Woodbine, I think? Woodbine Mohawk? Something like that.
You should get a mohawk.
I don't have enough hair. You should get a mohawk. You have enough. You should get a mohawk. You should just get like a faux hawk wig or something, and come in with a mohawk look.
Okay, we'll give it a
If I
shot.
could borrow your hair for a while, I could get a mohawk. I tell you what, if you'll give me your hair, I'll get a mohawk. Okay?
Deal.
Can we do that like a scalp
We
transfer?
gotta go
That
I think
works?
we have to go to Turkey for
Gotta
that.
look with that thing you got going on over there. You got a lot going on. You haven't even need a haircut.
I know I do need a haircut.
I need one too, but I don't have enough hair for it to matter. We're done. Chris Griffin's getting started for a big day today of 11 races. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Jonathan. Chris Griffin's up next. The reprise of Scratches and Changes. Have a great day.
The Cup is calling at the Breeders' Cup with Naira Bets. Download the Naira Bets app or sign up at NairaBets.com to get a $25 free bet and $200 deposit match bonus today. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, and boost your bankroll with lucrative promotions. Play the Breeders' Cup World Championship with Naira Bets. New players sign up now to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit match only with Naira Bets.